Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. India's core philosophy of the world being one big family has spilled its way into geopolitics finally. With the Indian PM calling the Japanese PM's little sister, Indonesian PM admitting to copying Indian agricultural programs, Myanmar promising to never use its base against India, India sending humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, all of this shows us the impact that India has been having beyond its neighbors, and that nations are getting seriously invested in India. They want to form a bond of mutual respect now. Well, all but one nation, it seems. When it comes to their partition nostalgic neighbor, this nation prefers instead to engage in state sponsored terrorism. If you've landed on the name Pakistan, you are correct. Pakistan drops bomb threats more easily than you may drop your phone. Take a look at this.
हम तो ऐलान कर चुके हैं कि जो हमारे पानी पे हाथ डालेगा हम वो हाथ ही काट देंगे, और सिर्फ ऐलान नहीं कर चुके, 2 मर्तबा 1-1.5 साल में दिखा चुके हैं कि अगर किसी ने हाथ डाला तो हम हाथ काट देंगे.
This is Pakistan's outrage over the Indus water treaty that India chose to keep in abeyance as its response to Pakistan's regular currency of terrorism.
India's position on the Indus Waters Treaty is consistent. IWT stands in abeyance in response to Pakistan's continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Pakistan must credibly and irrevocably abjure its support for cross-border terrorism.
Is it unlawful to put a water-sharing treaty in abeyance? No. Core principles of customary international law allows for it, under change of circumstances and breach of good faith between nations. And India is not the first to temporarily withhold the execution of a treaty. History tells us that the 1959 Nile Water Agreement between Egypt and Sudan is one such example. The Indus Water Treaty, or the IWT, was signed between India and Pakistan after 9 long years of negotiation, post-partition, in 1960. Despite the 1965, 1971 and 1999 wars with Pakistan, India followed through with executing the IWT. Unlike other treaties which allow for an exit or revision based on current standings of both parties, the IWT does not have an exit clause. Mediated by the World Bank, the treaty was never allowed an expiration date.
Our position on Indus Water Treaty is well known. It defies logic that a state which exports terror as an instrument of policy continues to demand the privileges of cooperation predicated on goodwill and friendship. It is equally undeniable that the treaty is now outdated. No technical arrangement can remain frozen in time while the world around it is transformed. A treaty negotiated in 1960 cannot be treated as a perpetual entitlement, which is insulated from accountability, detached from present-day realities, and untouched by the profound changes of the past 6 decades. The escalating impacts of climate change, advances in technology, and the growing imperative for sustainable clean energy demand a re-evaluation of the treaty's relevance and applicability.
What's interesting to note is that throughout the Indo-Pak wars, India continued to supply waters to canals of Pakistan from its eastern rivers, until Pakistan was able to build a canal system of its own for the western rivers. Per Article 5.1 of the IWT, India also made a fixed contribution to Pakistan of $174 million. Even after the Pahalgam terror attack, India went ahead and warned Pakistan of incoming floods on the Tavi River simply on humanitarian grounds. Owing to the treaty being in abeyance, the Permanent Indus Water Commission was suspended. But India still used diplomatic bilateral channels to communicate this warning to Pakistan. Now, one may argue India didn't need to do that, especially after being on the receiving end of terrorism repeatedly. But India did. And how did Pakistan respond to this timely warning, saving lives? Well, they used this opportunity to run a negative campaign against India, accusing India of flooding them. Pakistan claims their water issue is because of India. They are running dry because of India. But why has a 24-time IMF bailout, who had received funds even from India to build their Indus water systems in millions, never paid attention to building their reserves? Pakistan reserves hold only 15% of its annual river flow. Did Pakistan use all that money then only to arm its terror groups instead of building their reserves? If Pakistan had put as much energy into building their water reserves as they did in conducting terror attacks, their country would not be facing this water shortage today in the first place. But terrorism isn't the nation's only passion. It turns out Their politicians also have a sense of humor. After repeatedly thwarting bilateral talks and internationalizing issues like Kashmir or the IWT at the UN, Pakistan seems to be on the hunt for international attention on a new topic now. Or should I say, a new identity.
When we identify ourselves as Pakistanis, we ask a question as to who we are. And if you go back into history, the Indus water civilization defines us as a people. Whenever I go abroad, I often tell my counterparts that we are the people of the Indus Valley civilization. Our identification is that we are people based on the banks and tributaries of the mighty river Indus.
Well, one thing is for certain, if you're ever in need of comic relief, you can always rely on Pakistani ministers to provide you some. This is Shivangi Mukherjee for India Abroad.